Hi, I'm Babs, and I break down AI concepts into ways you can implement and integrate them in your personal lives or within organizations. Today, I will be talking about AI return on investments or ROI in AI. There's a big misconception that ROI, when it comes to AI, is a number. Instead, it is the byproduct of a working system. Are there metrics that we can capture to indicate ROI? Yes, there are. And organizations and individuals who are adopting AI should start to think in systems to get the best returns on artificial intelligence. To explain further, when an organization embarks on an AI journey or integrates an AI solution into their organization, the question becomes, are we using AI? That becomes one of the first metrics that organizations tend to chase. Like, if I remember correctly, I had read that a lot of organizations that adopted Microsoft Copilot saw a minimal use. And for them, that was appalling. And it's led to a lot of conversations around, was there any value here? To speak to that, Copilot by itself was not the problem. The approach by organizations embarking on this journey was part of what might have stemmed as the problem or the situation here. When organizations successfully understand how to adopt AI in whatever use case, agents or just generative AI, there are indicators that can speak to the return on investment on the AI adoption. For example, developers in a lot of organizations now make use of Claude Code, and it becomes, how do you calculate ROI on a tool like Claude Code? Of course, we have to start talking quality. We have to start talking cycle time. We have to start talking lead time and those metrics. We should be able to understand what the workflow with Claude Code becomes to now measure some of these metrics. When you're able to measure these metrics, then you'd be able to objectively say, is there a return on investment by us properly adopting and implementing Claude Code in our organization? Until you do that, you are probably chasing shadows by not measuring the right things that you want to measure, because these things eventually will lead you to a number. But if the first thing you're trying to chase is a number, which sometimes executives tend to do, then you are pretty much looking in the wrong place. So ROI is not just a number. It is, in AI terms, it is putting a system together in place that helps you capture the real value of AI use and taking it away from technical folks. And by technical folks, I mean developers using Claude Code to let's move to operations. When an operations department can sit down to understand or design their current state workflow, and they have an AI consultant help them identify how to improve or automate parts of the workflow using AI. In that standpoint, ROI becomes, sometimes it's time back, because time can be accounted for, so that, okay, is the ROI time reduced to perform certain tasks? Is it user experience, which is intangible? Is the ROI going to sit on the customer's end and we measure it in NPS scores? ROI is not a number. So don't assume it always will just be a very blatant number. I also am of the opinion that as we keep advancing towards the agentic workforce, a lot of AI agents already have metrics that come with them from the observability layer. However, there is going to be a translation of those metrics into business KPIs that also potentially lead to ROI. So, for example, if an agent is working on operations and working in tandem with an operations associate or employee. While the employee has a performance target, amongst other things, there can also be a layer which becomes the value layer for organizations that captures the business value that AI agents are delivering. So that are we able to say that, okay, the agent delivered this in cycle time this, so the cycle time has been reduced. Can we calculate what that means for the business from a financial standpoint? And that might be a number that leaders like to see. And in that case, they proceed to having a dashboard for AI, the AI agentic workforce. This was something I have been dabbling with, where the same way we have workforces and cost centers for human beings, do we have an observation layer that tells us not just the technical metrics of cost per token to quality metrics and correcting prompts and all that, but something that defines business outcomes, OKRs, and all that for AI agents? That definitely is a gap that has not been filled yet. An AI management layer or tool, a business intelligence tool for AI agents. With that said, I do hope organizations approach the ROI conversation very systemically and not rushing immediately trying to see the dollar numbers. Part of the mistake when you approach things straight from the money is people rush and don't get things done properly. So it is important that the layer before you start to find the correlation with actual dollar numbers or whatever ROI you're looking for is put in place. That system of capturing what really is value, depending on the persona or the employee or the space within the organization, needs to be captured. So if we're talking cycle time, lead time, defects, or if we're talking hours reduced, if it's a very monotonous task or whatever the case is, these are some of the things that need to be captured. And these are some of the things that need to be translated to business leaders for them to understand the value that AI adoption is actually delivering. Once again, thank you for watching today's video. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, leave a comment, feel free to ask questions. I will be more than glad to respond. And feel free to visit the Mind Meets Model website and also subscribe to our newsletter, which is a weekly newsletter.